Hello and welcome to Mini Talk Talk.
Another episode of our talk show series on video games and the lives of other people.
In today's episode, I want to talk about games as a form of disobedience.
Oh, how fun!
Games can be used to subvert situations, and depending on the power relations of a specific situation, reframing your position as part of a game might lead to new and unexpected things. It can both subvert the existing power structures and give you an opportunity for agency, even though the situation did not really account for that.
I'm not sure I can follow, but what you're saying sounds intriguing and useful. Maybe you can give me an example?
I can do that, but I can also show you, because I have not just one, but two examples from back in the day. Games followed me all my life, but they didn't necessarily make my life easier.
I wonder where this is going and if it has anything to do with what I'm wearing. Like in the last episode, also in this, you, our lovely viewers, send us some fan mail. The first we share with you today would be by our fan Tom, whose writing touched us deeply. Hey there, Mini Talk Talk. I feel like we don't talk enough about breakups and video games. I had an affair recently that ended in a pretty shitty way. I felt like I was treated as if I were some sort of an obstacle in a video game. You know what I mean? Like a level that you have to complete to get to the next stage. Like a training session to avoid obstacles. But instead of just getting over with it, the person would just play around until all attempts were used up. And pretend nothing had happened. That was not nice at all. Especially since we were co-workers. Dear Tom, thank you for reaching out. I know it is not easy, and I'm very sorry for what happened to you. You show great vulnerability, and to me that's a sign of a great strength. And I'm sure at some point someone will appreciate you just the way you are.
We used to create and play games a lot when I was a Girl Scout. There wasn't much else to do on Saturday afternoons, so we played games all the time.
I guess you could have concentrated on lighting a fire.
Sometimes I think that I could turn any game into an act of disobedience. It then becomes a completely unproductive activity that generates no economic value. If you create or play a game, you spend time creating your own world within an existing world that is full of rules. You create your own rules. You go to where the game leads you, and sometimes, at least in my case, you completely forget the time and all the other things you were supposed to do.
But you did not create video games, right?
No, we did not. But my inventing and playing games spread to many other situations.
Oh no, we're back in school.
Our teacher at that time was a furious specimen, and the only way we were able to deal with them was by playing games that we made up during his class. I designed them together with my seat neighbor, and we got distracted so thoroughly that the teacher had us forcefully separated.
So these games, you say, were tools for disobedience? Is this what you designed them for?
I think the reason we got separated was because our playing games undermined the established authority. It gave us agency to behave in a way that was counter to the power structures of the classroom.
Were these games a way to give you agency in a space that did not provide any?
Yes, they kind of were. Playing in class would always retain some of that. Not playing for enjoyment, but to annoy the powers that were. Especially when we could take our Nokias with us to class and play Snake or Bounce Ball.
What type of game is Bounce Ball?
Hi, Editing Leonie here. I guess this would be the point where we tell you, please don't do this at home. School is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, maybe?
Learning is fun. Anyway, back to Mini Talk Talk.
Now, as the second letter, we picked an email sent to us by Anonymous Obrist. That's a rather mysterious username. I'm writing to you today as an anonymous manager working in HR in one of the key industrial heavyweights at the dawn of this new decade. And I want to let you know that I have had it with this current generation of all playful, all the time edgy young people that think everything is a game to them. Just this last Wednesday during a meeting in which we unveiled an unprecedented new research project of enormous scale, almost half the people in the meeting room would be distracted by playing with their phones. Like, I understand. I also played Snake under the table at school, but come on, we're not in school anymore. Like, I understand if you play that on a plane trip, but not in a meeting. I will give them one more chance. You better make that last try count. Well, whoever you are, employee of Anonymous Obrist, you better make that last try count for something.
Well, anyways, of course, from the outside or the view of the teacher, it might appear that you just sit in class and play on your phone under the table.
Probably with the music turned off.
Of course, but for me it was my way to show my disobedience in this specific moment, in which I didn't want to follow the rules someone else imposed on me.
I see. You don't feel like you have a say in how the room is governed. You're expected to just follow the rules, and you have no voice to influence or change them. I find it intriguing how play can become a dangerous thing for the powers to be.
Well, we were kids at that time. Thinking back on it now, I still feel a bit sorry for my teacher, but I also gained strength and I established a very human connection with my friend by playing these games. A connection to someone who also refused to follow the rigid structures imposed on us.
Or people that have troubles following the rules and structures of society in general.
But I would like to point out that the idea of this episode is not an unqualified endorsement of all forms of disobedience. Don't be a horrible person, just making sure, you know?
I think they know.
Anyway, back to mini talk.
No, but I do understand. Sometimes you feel like you're out of power and there isn't much that you can do. And then reframing a situation as some sort of a game, or even directly playing a game, it can give you some space to breathe and exist as more than just a passive person. And as for the last post for today, we selected a rather cute post by our fan, the bus driver. Hi, bus driver. In his confined email, the bus driver takes us back to his childhood, which made us very happy, and we hope it makes you happy too. There were windmills when I was a kid, and we would try to hit their rotors with the ball. One time I managed to hit it 3 times in a row. I'm sure it must have felt like an amazing achievement. Thank you for sharing this joyful memory with us.
Yes, when there are few options to deal with the situations controlled by others, or maybe even just beyond your control, a situation that would possibly drown you otherwise.
But I have to add, sometimes you also play video games on your phone in class out of boredom.
This was another episode of Mini Talk,
our 6-part series where we talk about video games and the lives of other people.